Hello, hello. I am going to be doing, oh, I forgot to move my laptop. Got a stand over there. I'm going to be doing Robi Robot box 12, pack 12. This one involves testing the assorted servos. So, a little concerned about these stages. Let's see here. Okay, stage 43 is going to be the first one. I put some of the stuff inside so that Ferdi couldn't get to it because I set everything up. I actually don't have Robi's head here. Usually I do, but I've got so much stuff. I just wanted to be careful, you know, and not be doing that. So stage 43 is test Robi's right arm movement. So the right arm is here. This is the one that the thumb keeps coming off because somehow I busted that at one point. I got some Gorilla Glue, the clear. I'm going to try to put that on at some point in the future to fix that. Anyway, the parts that I need is the CPU board, the right arm, his SD card, micro SD card, sorry, some screws, M2 4mm panhead screws. I don't know why they gave us these in stage 41 if we didn't need them until now. It's very bizarre to me. And then the battery, which is here. I charged the battery for an hour until it turned green. And so the battery is charged. So it says, I'm going to sit down here so that I'm closer to everything. So it says, use the test micro SD card supplied with the previous stage and the CPU board supplied with this one to test the movement of Robi's right arm. The CPU board supplied with this stage is perhaps the most important of Robi's electronic parts. The CPU, Central Processing Unit, is the component that once fitted with the final micro SD card will control all of Robi's movements, voice recognition, infrared sensors, and the many other features he has. The board houses a number of sockets into which will be plugged the cables leading to Robi's various electronic parts, labeled in the diagram on the next page, as well as the sockets. The board has a micro SD card slot, which will be used first to test Robi's movement using the test micro SD card, then, on completion, to hold the final micro SD card. So I already mentioned the parts that we have. So these are the parts that we need. And then the ever handy screwdriver, which will be on the wish list in the description because the one that came with the kit became stripped. Okay, so the CPU board. The best way to understand the role of the Central Processing Unit, or CPU, that you have received in this stage is to see it as Robi's brain. Though the CPU board is built into his body rather than his head, the job it performs is very similar to that of a human brain. It tells Robi's various electronic parts, such as his 20 servos, how and when to act, for example, extending his left leg forward while positioning his right one to support his body weight while walking. This complex information gathered from the micro SD card that fits into the purpose-built slot on the edge of the board is decoded by the microprocessor, then carried around his body using a series of cables, much like a human brain uses its nervous system to carry information to the person's limbs. So if you think of Zumi, she has a micro SD card. Robi, he's going to have that micro SD card. The CPU board is extremely delicate and should always be handled with care. Avoid touching the electronic components set into its surface by holding it by its sides. Only handle it with completely dry hands and keep it away from magnetized objects. So this is actually not magnetized though. And then they show the various components on the CPU board. There's a battery socket, head, neck, back socket, left arm socket, right arm socket. That's going to be used in this stage as well as the battery socket. Voice recognition socket, acoustic amplifier, acceleration sensor, microprocessor, speaker socket, micro SD card slot, which will hold the micro SD test card in this stage, right leg socket, and left leg socket. Warning, when you connect the battery to the CPU board, disconnect it immediately if you see any smoke or vapor rising from the board. Ooh, that's scary. Attention, Robi's right arm will start moving as soon as you begin the test. So make sure you do this in a safe place where the arm will not knock anything over or be at risk of damage. In this stage, you will test the right arm alone. Do not attempt to connect any other of Robi's limbs yet. The movement test must be done as per the instructions.
Hello.
Hello, Jibo. And I forgot to do a timer. Ferdi's up over here. And Alyssa, she was over here sitting, but she's gone. I guess she doesn't want to be in these videos. Yeah, Miko's on, as are the vectors, but I told them to sleep. Anyway, hey Jibo, can you set a 20-minute timer?
Okay, 20 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, connecting the right arm.
You're very welcome.
Insert the test micro SD card into the card slot on the CPU board, making sure that it clicks fully into place. Line up the CPU board to the two circled holes on the inside of the right body panel. Use the two M2 4mm panhead screws saved from stage 41 to secure the board to the panel. Okay, so we're going to secure the board to this panel, and we're going to put the micro SD card, and we're going to take this out. So I'm going to get the, oh, let me show you everything that it shows. And so this is the important stuff. Ooh, we've got some stuff there I forgot about. Okay. Cautionary stuff. And then details. Anyway, so this is the stuff here that matters. You might want to look this over if you're able to see it. Hopefully you are. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. I'm going to keep this material because I'm going to want to put it back in between stages. I'm going to rest that on the SD card, micro SD card. Here's some packing material. I'll take this off of the screws. Thankfully, I was able to find them. And there's an extra as always, just in case. Oftentimes they give extras. So we're going to put this on the packing material and then put the SD card in. Let's see what way it goes in. All right. Looks like it goes in. Okay, it's going to go in this way. And it's got Robi written on it. You're able to see that. And it goes, where does it go? See the slot again. It is there. Okay, so here, although there, it looks like slightly different material, but it's not. So we're going to do this until it clicks into place. Looks to me like it's clicked into place. Yeah, definitely clicked into place. Okay, so we got that done. This is what it looks like. Next, we're going to mount it on the arm. It looks like we've got it. And this I'm going to worry about later. Get mounted on the arm. How are we going to do that? Okay, it looks like it's this way, and there's two screws there. So I got to move this so I can actually access the screws. And there's two holes in the center of the board. So, looks like it's this way. Which way do I do the screws? From the inside. So line up the CPU board to the two circle screw holes on the inside of the right body panel. Use the 2mm pan head screws saved from stage 41 to secure the board to the panel. So, I'll take my glasses off. It's going to be best to since you got to worry about magnetization. Okay, let's see here. This is kind of a delicate and difficult situation because they want me to screw on the inside of the panel and yet tell you not to touch it. So, like, make up your minds. Okay, this is going to be difficult to do, I gotta say. Seems like they should have you do it from the other side instead of this side. But what do I know, right? I mean, it definitely looks like they're having me screw them from this side. So I don't know why they're doing that if they don't want you to touch it. I'm going to stabilize it by trying to hold it. Okay. Really hope that that's on it. Looks like it might be. Once you've got one in, it should be okay, you know, to get the other, because it should be lined up pretty well. Looks like it might be. Hopefully. Well, I dropped it. But there's two. I actually found it right away, surprisingly enough. And then they tell you you can magnetize these, but obviously that's not going to be a good idea. If magnetizing them will hurt the board. I did manage to get them, so... Seems like that one's not going in as much as I would expect it to. Okay, well, that's good enough for now. Okay, I'll put this, don't need this screw anymore. Put that over there. Okay. Next we have the right arm test, the scary part. I really hope it works. Take the servo cable leading from the right arm shoulder servo and press it into the right arm socket on the CPU board. This is arrowed above and indicated in the diagram on the previous page. As ever, make sure that the connector is set straight and clicks into place neatly and securely, and take care not to force the part. So this connector is pretty short. I sure hope it's going to fit. Which connector is it supposed to go to? The middle? You've got to be kidding me. I don't think this is going to go that far. Let me look on the prior page and see. Yeah, it's the middle. Why do they have it? There's just no way. It's like it's not going to be long enough. I just pulled it more, and I sure hope that me pulling it more did not undo it. And I still don't know if it's going to go. This is like... I always suspected, because the other one has it go much further, that there was some kind of problem with the length it was. But I looked at the prior building diagram when I did it, and it did look like it was accurate. So I don't know. So it's supposed to go into the center. It would be nice if it was the closer one instead of the center. But yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it there. It just seems like it's just not going to be able to go that distance. I guess if I do it and then push it to the side, maybe I can get it. Maybe. Come on, please do it. And I hope I didn't undo it by pulling it. It's like very difficult, very, very difficult. I don't want to break it either, obviously. A very difficult position. Tell you not to take the pad off, but gotta be honest that without the pad off, I'm not certain that I could even get it in. It's really hope. It seems like maybe I've got enough leeway now on it. It's just a very difficult operation. Put the pad back on it. Well, I don't imagine we're going to be doing 4 stages as long as this has taken me. I think I might finally have it actually in, hopefully. Just don't know. Having a heck of a time, that is for sure. Hey Jibo, how long on the timer?
7 minutes and 56 seconds left.
Yeah, sorry I pulled it down there, but I'm just trying really hard to get this lined up. And it's proving very, very challenging with the length that I have available. And if we end up with it not working, which I hope that is not the case, if that ends up happening, then the troubleshooting will have to happen off of video because unfortunately, I don't know how long it'll take. I will discuss whatever troubleshooting I did and how I resolved it in the next video after that, but yeah, we're going to end up having to not do it in the video in question. Okay, I think I almost have it. Almost. Maybe not. I don't know, man. Very difficult, Ferdi. Ferdi's not even paying attention to me. Okay, I got it. Oh my goodness. That took forever and a day, I'll tell you. And I don't know how these pads could even really stay on there. But I'll put it on now that I've got it. Put the pad back on. Okay, because I don't know if we're probably going to take it back off. Whoa, that was something, I'll tell you. If it had been just one closer, that would have been handy to have it in the middle. Thankfully, it wasn't even further than that. Okay. Whew, that was something. Ferdi, you're not being much of an assistant, no help. Then one of the vectors woke up. Once the servo cable is connected, plug the battery pack's connector into the battery socket. Again, be very careful not to force the parts. Note the arm will begin moving as soon as power is supplied. So, all right, let's look here. Based on what I'm seeing, okay, so because the battery's charged, I can unplug this part and I can unplug the battery, which I had previously plugged in order to charge it to the charging socket. Okay, so this is going to start moving as soon as I plug it in to the battery socket, which is which one? It looks like it's the furthest from the servo. So this here is the socket. Okay, so it's going to start moving immediately. Hopefully it does actually do that. And it's not. So it didn't start moving. So that's a concern. Battery definitely charged. Okay. So if it had worked, once the battery is connected, Robi's right arm will immediately begin its test operation. First, the arm will return to its starting position, which resets all the servos to their neutral positions. Then the forearm servo will start to move, causing Robi's forearm to extend, then retract from the elbow, ending up again at the starting position. Next, the upper arm servo will lift Robi's arm outwards before returning it to the starting position. Then to complete the test, the arm will swing forward and backward from the shoulder, again returning to the starting position once done. The test will keep running continuously as long as the battery is connected. Give it 2 or 3 rounds of the test to ensure everything is working as it should be, then simply unplug the battery to end the test. And it didn't do any of that, and I do have it in the correct servo position. Possibly pulling on it brought it apart, I don't know. I honestly don't know, because it's not moving at all. So there we go, troubleshooting. So I'm going to have to disassemble. They basically have troubleshooting, and since nothing is moving, you know, that's the way it goes. I'm going to have to disassemble, and they have the dismantling it section here. So I'm going to imagine pulling it in order to get it to reach didn't help. It's definitely connected, so there's nothing about that that isn't, and this battery is definitely charged because I had just charged it. So unfortunately, I'm going to end the video. I can't do anything about it. We didn't get to see its successful test. And I'm going to dismantle it and try to figure out what's wrong. Next week, I'll get back to you once I've determined what's wrong, and we'll continue from there. And I'll hopefully be demonstrating it working next week. And then stage 44 will be preparing his left ankle servo and test his left arm. And hopefully the left arm will work. All right. Hey, Jibo, How long was on the timer?
It'll be done in 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Thanks very much. Hey, Jibo, tell me a joke.
What did the necktie say to the hat? You go on ahead. I'll hang around.
Okay, so you go on ahead, and I'm going to hang around and get this fixed. Thanks a lot.